Okay, we're going to simplify and combine these three radical expressions. Let's begin with the first one. How can we break this down? This is square root of 8, right? So we have to ask ourselves, what times what will give us 8? And one of the number should be a perfect square. Well, we can use 4 and 2. So let me write this down as, we know square root of 8 is the same as square root of 4 times square root of 2. Okay? So you see, this is going to give us a regular 2. But then remember, we have this 5 in the front. We have to work out 5 times 2. So in fact, we will have 10. And let me indicate this for you guys, because once again, I have to work out the 5 from here, and this is the regular 2 that we just got. 5 times 2 gives us the 10. And then we have this x right here. Let's put that down. And then let me leave a space. Let me open the square root, because I know this 2 is still inside. And then we also have y to the third power inside of the square root that we have to take care of this. And remember, this is y to the third power, and then the square root right here, the index is 2. So the third power here, we actually have enough power to get out, right? And I'll do this for you guys real quick down below here. So for the y right here, I have to work out 3 divided by 2. Remember, you divide the powers, and this is right here is for the y, okay, for this part. And I just have to go ahead and divide, and you see that 2 goes into 3 at most one time. 2 times 1 is 2, and then we subtract, and then 3 minus 2 is 1. This is the easiest way, because this one will tell you how many of the y's that you can take out, one of it. So we can just write this down as y to the first power. You don't have to bother to write down the 1 if you don't want to. And then this one tells you how many y remains inside, which you have y to the first as well. So y to the third power in the square root is just y, square root of y, okay? And now let's move to this one right here. Square root of 32, what times what? You can use 4 times 8, but it would be better if we used 16 and 2. So I'll break this down as square root of 16 times square root of 2. So because this way I can just finish it in one step. So you see, this is pretty much just a 4, but then we have the 3 in front. We have to work out 3 times 4. So we will write down plus 12, because once again, we have the 3 times this is just a 4. So 3 times 4 is the 12. And then we have the y, but then let me leave some space actually, and then I will open the square root, and then I have the 2 inside. Because we have the x squared in the square root, that means I have x to the first power on the outside. How do I know? Let me show you. Well, for the x right here, all we have to do is, this is the power 2, and then we have to divide it by the index 2. And then we know 2 goes into 2 one time. 1 times 2 is just 2, and then when you subtract, you get 0. So you have no more x inside, but then you can factor out, right, one of the x on the outside. X to the first power, that's what I mean. And then this x is from here, and then we have the y still. And then this y is to a first power. It does not have enough power, so it stays inside. Last one. Let me just work out this number first. So square root of 50, what times what can be 50? Let's use 25 and 2. So I'll write this down as square root of 25 times square root of 2. And now be careful with this. Let me write down minus, because this is 5. This is another 5. 5 times 5 gives us 25. This 5 is right here, and then this is another 5. 5 times 5 gives us a 25. Let me write down the x right here. Okay, it leaves a space, and I'll open the square root. We have the 2 inside. And once again, we have y to the third power in the square root. And this situation is the same as that situation, so I'm just going to use this. 3 divided by 2, we know is 1, and remainder is 1. So we know we have y to the first power outside, and then y to the first power inside. Okay, so we run through all three terms and we simplify all of them. And notice that for the variable part, xy square root of 2y, and then xy square root of 2y, xy square root of 2y, they are all the same thing, right? They are all like terms. Therefore, what we can do is we can just combine the numbers in front. This is 10 plus 12, we have 22, and then minus 25, we have negative 3. So we'll just write this down, negative 3, and then the variable part, it's the same, so I'll maintain that, xy square root of 2y. This is it. This is the final answer.